Welcome back, sociology students. Unit 5, Social Institutions. Today we will be talking about the institution of the economy. All right, so let's dive deeper into economics. We will define economics as the study of how humans obtain their needs and wants. All right, the study of how humans obtain their needs and wants. We've been done different it has been done differently throughout history, okay, which results in various sociological theories. All right, economics through history and even like in present day today, right? The United States economy is much different than that of countries in Europe, China, so on and so forth. So we'll take a look at a few of those differences as well as the various sociological theories. So we will start with Emil Durkheim, and kind of his thoughts and sociological theories on the economy. So as the nature of work changes, human nature changes as well. All right, so I want you to just brainstorm while you're at home how the nature of work changed over the years. So think about jobs from the early 1900s, the mid 1900s, even 1990s, early 2000s, and then today, right? Like, how has that work changed? Transformation from an agricultural society to an industrial society. All right, that is so key. And that's what happened during Durkheim's life, which naturally is why he focused on how when work changes, human nature changes as well. Um, it was a result of the Industrial Revolution, and he looked at the decline in mechanical solidarity. All right, shared social experiences create connections between us, right? Um, you all right now have the shared experience of distance learning from the spring, then hybrid learning, then now distance learning again, right? So through your education, you are connected with other students from SDMA, other students in Minnesota, our country, and even the world through that experience. Okay? Specialization of skills. He believed that as we become specialized, we have to rely on one another, right? Like if I specialize in education, I have to rely on another human being that specialized in medicine, right? If I get sick, and then they would entrust me or somebody else to educate their child. So Emil Durkheim. Sorry, this is so slow. About 4 slides ahead, so we're going to back up here. Help desk ticket is out for my computer, so hopefully it gets in. I might just have to lecture to you guys from not in present mode, if that works. Come on. All right, we'll try this. Now we'll look at, we just talked about Durkheim, now we'll talk about Karl Marx. All right, so Karl Marx, first we want to define alienation. To feel separate from something. Alienation, to be alienated, is to feel separate from something. So Marx believes the capitalist economy to be fundamentally alienating. Okay, that is Marx's big thing, is he was not a fan of capitalism. Now I want you to think while you're at home, how, right? How could capitalism be alienating? Karl Marx also took a look at product versus labor, right? So product. We are disconnected from what we make. Pre-capitalism, your product was for yourself, right? Um, Now products go to strangers. So it's nothing but a paycheck to show for your label. Like I said, Karl Marx is a very uh, high critic of capitalism. Labor, disconnected from the actual act of making. So labor is not your own. He believes you're like whoring yourself out. If you look at this political cartoon over here, um, wealth created by labor. Then you have the working class who put in all that work to create that big product there, and then the capitalist class handing just a small wage to the working class. Okay? Political cartoon does a nice job showing his criticisms of capitalism. He then goes in to talk about other workers and human potential. So, other workers, Karl Marx says competition rather than cooperation, which actually pits workers against one another. All right. Then he looks at the human potential. Basically, we work to advance others' lives rather than our own. Right. So he was not necessarily a fan of like the industrialization, then turning into a full capitalist economy versus when you just worked to sustain stuff for your own family. If we have time, we'll come back and take a look at his dialect of subject and object in the economy. All right, just a nice little graph there talking about the relationship between the labor means of production and product. So we're going to look at the economy today now. De-skilling, okay, transition into economy today. De-skilling, you all should be very familiar with, is the development of technology that performs the skills and tasks of humans. Okay? A perfect example of that would be self-checkout at a grocery store, right? That is taking away a job from a human, right? Because it's a robot. So manufacturing jobs decrease because now there are so many machines and robots that can be programmed to do that job instead of people, right? So you can take a look at that robotic political cartoon over there. Okay, so de-skilling, technology that performs the skills and tasks of humans. Then, continuing with the economy today, we'll look at deprofessionalization. So basically, what basic tech did to manufacturing, computer tech is now doing to high-level professionals. What basic tech did to manufacturing, computer tech is now doing to high-level professionals. Example, WebMD, LegalZoom.com, online universities. So advanced tech will do away with the need for high-level professional abilities. The COVID-19 pandemic is a really great example of this. Like never before has telemedicine been used more, virtual medicine and meetings with doctors than ever before. How that will play out in years to come, I'm not exactly sure, but it definitely has opened the door to a whole nother market in medicine. So now we're going to finish with talking about McDonaldization. All right. So McDonaldization doesn't just have to do with McDonald's. It stems from that, but it's not like your Big Mac, French fries, and McFlurry. Right. It's the principles of the fast food restaurant. Okay. So the principles of McDonald's are coming to dominate more sectors of American and the world's society. All right. So an example of that being urgent care instead of hospitalization, TV dinners, virtual reconciliation or confession, standardized tests. Okay, they're efficient. Netflix. Okay, we'll break it down more so you understand McDonaldization in our economy today. Sorry, like I said, bear with me. This computer is terrible. Okay, so looking at this chart. So much of society is starting to resemble these basic principles. First off, efficiency, right? When you think about McDonald's, you think about efficiency. It's the optimal method to complete a task, getting the cheapest unit price, best cost for least effort. Everything is done extremely quickly, and honestly, the customer does the work. Okay, when you go to McDonald's, you well, we'll dive into that deeper in the next couple slides. Let's go over some other examples. Salad bars. You rent a plate and then you do all the work yourself. So you pay for the plate and then you seriously take care of everything. It's super efficient for the restaurant. ATMs. You enter withdrawal or deposit info to a computer and then it reduces that human interaction. So, that 4 principles that make us addicted. Efficiency, the best way of doing something. Predictability. People like to know what they get no matter where they're at, right? Like you can be in France, you can be in New York City, you can be in St. Michael, Minnesota, and the Big Mac tastes the same. The number 6 is the same. The French fries, right? It's predictable. It's also good to be mass produced. Calculability and quantity over quality. We prefer having a good return on our money, right? So if it's quick, if it's easy on a road trip before work, then it's going to happen. Oh, computer. So, this is our last slide. The elements that make us addicted. Okay. Control. It takes effect after a short time. There's internal control over workers, right? At McDonald's, there are detailed instructions. So there isn't time or room for individual thought or creativity. It is, here's how to make a number 2. Okay. External over customers, right? You go into McDonald's, you can't say like, I want this without pickles, or I want this medium well, I want this with cheese on it, this without cheese. You just have to pick a number, right? So it's a number 1, a number 2, a number 4 combo. Maybe you pick something off the dollar menu. So there's already that control over customers when they come in. You can't choose the type of meat or the type of bread, right? You just choose from the board. You also are controlled by, if you ever go into a McDonald's, everything's uncomfortable, right? It's plastic seats, it's hard benches, it's not like super homey in there where you want to just sit down and hang out. Teenagers, they like to hang out at McDonald's for whatever reason. But overall, it's designed for people to sit down for a short amount of time and then leave. Okay? Everything's disposable, right? So, like, there's no rules that you have to throw all of your stuff away, but everybody does out of common courtesy. And that makes it that much more efficient and easier for the workers because they just have to wipe down the table. They don't have to go and bus your table like waiters or waitresses. Okay, think about malls. There aren't clocks. When's the last time you've been in a mall and you've seen a clock, right? They don't want you to know what time it is so you can't leave, right? Personal banking, pumping gas, all of it. There's external control over those customers. Okay, sorry I lied. This is the last slide. If it will open up. It's just the consequences of McDonaldization. All right, so the worry is that society will be more artificial, uniform, and then as a result, uninteresting, right? If everything just runs on efficiency and is run by robots, then society could get very uninteresting very fast. There are some additional videos on McDonaldization of society that I have listed below. So, if you have any questions on the economy, Emil Durkheim, Karl Marx, criticism of capitalism, there's lots of wonderful things about capitalism and strengths that we'll talk about today in our assignment as well. All right, so have a great day.